Welcome back to Texas Cooking. I am your host, S.A. Trotter. Today we are going to be making chicken fried steak. Now this is a true Texas favorite. This is enjoyed all over our state. And I would like to first talk about the meat we use. Now you can make this dish out of any cut of beef there is. Some work a little better than others. Today I have decided to use eye of the round. Now this is a cross-cut piece of an eye of the round. And if you will notice here on the beef, you will see the fibers of the meat. I have cross-cut this, cut across the grain. This is very important. We want this piece of meat to be tender. You see the ends of the fibers of meat here, and you can see lengthwise running from one side of the steak to the other. Now you don't want these strands running this way or this way, but rather vertical, and this will make a much more tender steak. Now I'm going to take this and we're going to beat it down in a moment, and that will help to make it a whole lot more tender. But also, if you've ever noticed, when you cook a piece of meat, it has a tendency to shrink up. It gets smaller in diameter, it gets a little bit thicker, and when it does that, it will release any batter that you put on it. This is the same way with chicken. It is this way with pork, with beef. If you're going to fry something, if you're going to batter it and fry it, then you need to get the meat under control. You need to get it so that it won't shrink up, so that it won't release the batter. And that's what we are going to do right now. Now there's a couple of different ways of doing this, and we're going to get into those tools in a moment, and I'm going to show you that. So let's change our focus. The way that we are going to take our meat and tenderize it a little bit and to control the shrinkage or movement of the meat as it's being cooked is we're going to beat it down or make it flatter. Now they do make a variety of tools for this. If you'll notice, this is a knurled hammer, a mallet, that is designed for tenderizing meat. Now I've noticed that these make more of a mess than it's really worth. I don't even bother with them. They do make some of these that are larger with a smooth face on them. I just really don't get into that. I think the kitchen already has enough utensils in it and items in it to make this happen easily. So what I'm going to do is use the bottom of a skillet, and we're going to use that to beat this down. You could use other pans as well. Now what I'll do to make this just a little easier and cleaner, and you can use foil, you can use plastic wrap, you can put it just directly on a breadboard or meat board, and in doing, go ahead and beat it down. Now I like to do this because it's a little bit neater and gives me a bag to keep everything contained in. You know, just gently beat this down. Now I'm using this part of the skillet more than a flat hit, and that because it allows me to direct pressure into the meat a little bit better and to control this. This breaks the fibers down, it breaks them apart in the meat. Be afraid to get a little bit harsh with it. If you wish to chicken fry chicken, pork, or any other meat that is boneless, this will really help to control that meat's movement when it's cooking. Now this was a simple 6.5 ounce piece of eye of the round. Now if you'll notice, I've gotten that almost twice the size it was originally. Okay? And it is down almost to a ½ inch in thickness. I want just a little more. to break my bag a little. Don't let things like that bother you. Okay, we are ready to season this fillet. This is going to make a wonderful chicken fried steak. Look how much different that is now. This will not release the batter. Now that it's been beaten down this way, it will not have a tendency to shrink up the way it would before. So, the next step, we're going to batter this, show you how we do that, season, batter, and prepare our chicken fried steak. Okay, we have our cutlet here. It's time that we season it first. A little bit of salt, some black pepper. I want to do this to both sides. There we go. Now, in addition, I have a bowl of flour and a bowl of egg mixture. And this is just an egg that has been beaten with an equal amount of milk. Okay? Now the first thing I want to do is to take my cutlet, put it down into the flour. There we go. Now if you notice, I shake that pan and that flour works its way right up over the top of the cutlet. Okay? Now we have added our first layer of breading to our cutlet. Now if I'm going to do a really good, thick, crispy batter on this cutlet, then I have to do a build-up. And I always start, whenever I'm doing a crispy, crunchy batter, I start by flouring the item. Now I do this also if I'm using a liquid batter. And the liquid batter will just be a one-step process where it is a thick batter. It's very similar to pancake batter where you beat your egg and your milk, you add flour into that, and you beat that until it becomes thick, just like a pancake batter. And then you first dip whatever item it is that you're going to be breading down into flour, and then into the liquid batter, and then into oil. And that, of course, would be like if you were doing onion rings. That makes that nice, thick, fluffy batter that you get on an onion ring. But this time I want a real thick, crunchy batter on my chicken fried steak. So, I start this way, and now we're going to put it into the egg mixture. And I want to liberally coat this on both sides in the egg mixture and right back into our flour. Okay? Take that, shake it again. We want to completely cover the item with a generous amount of flour. Now here's the real trick, folks. If you want this to be thick and crunchy, you've got to go back into the egg again. Second time. Okay? This gives you that crispy, crunchy batter that everybody wants. Okay? Go. We recoat that, and I'm going to let it sit for just a moment as my oil finishes heating. And that will assure me of getting a good, thick, crunchy batter on my chicken fried steak. Alright, it looks like our oil has come up in temperature. So we can take our chicken fried, put it right down into that oil. There we go. Now we're going to fry this on both sides until golden brown. So we're going to give it plenty of time to do that. This is about a medium flame that we are cooking this over. Okay, our cooking is about finished now. I'm going to take the chicken fried steak that I have prepared. Now that has gotten nice and golden brown. It'll be good and crunchy. I'm going to set that aside to drain. Now in another pan I have melted some butter, and I'm going to make a cream gravy for this. Okay? Now what I put in here is a couple of tablespoons of butter and about 1 tablespoon of peanut oil. The oil with the butter provides a really good texture. Okay, so I want to add some flour to this. Now this flour is going to allow us to make a roux. The roux is going to be the base for gravy. I'll just pour some milk in there in a moment. Now what I want to do when I'm making cream gravy like this, I want to take that flour and butter mixture that I have made, and we're going to turn it just slightly tan in color. Now, this is coming up to a nice boil. See, it's bubbling a little bit. That's what we want. Just let that cook for just a moment. And in just a moment, we're going to add in our milk. This is a very simple procedure. Now, if you go to a northern state and order a chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes and you ask for gravy on it, they're going to put brown gravy on there. Okay? In Texas, we like to use cream gravy. This cream gravy is just the way we do things here. If we've got a pot roast, we want brown gravy on it. If we have a chicken fried steak, well, we want cream gravy on it. So that's the way we're going to do this. Okay, our color is changing just slightly here. So now I can add in some milk. We're going to stir that, bring it up to a boil. Now what happens, that milk combines with the flour that's been cooked and it thickens. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt and pepper to this. A little salt. Pepper. This is true Texas cooking. We enjoy this dish all over the state. Now, my gravy is getting very thick, very quick. I don't want it too thick. Add just a little bit more milk. There we go. Now, if you'll notice, these dishes just don't take a long time to make. This is very quick. If you live up northeast or in Canada or Mexico, be ready. You come here, you order a chicken fried steak, you're going to get this type of a meal. Now, basically I have this prepared. All I need to do at this point put my chicken fried steak in the middle of the plate, pour up our cream gravy over the top of that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is chicken fried steak, just as we make it in the state of Texas. I hope you enjoy this. Good eating.